Sony is making the next Switch Pro. There is some incredible creativity going on the internet this week. We may be getting a possible Breath of the Wild 2-player mod. Somebody discovered that it may not even be possible to get screen burn on your Switch OLED, and this incredible Sony Switch Pro-esque design. Let's get into it. It's looking sparse out there for amiibo lovers. It's almost like the beginning of amiibos, when amiibos were just like really difficult to find. And a lot of people are finding solutions by buying them illegally on the internet. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there are currently like Etsy shops, eBay stores just dedicated to selling like bootleg amiibo cards for specific characters. And my question is, why has Nintendo not been getting into this? This seems like such an easy solution for them. They already do like amiibo card packs for games like Animal Crossing, so it doesn't seem like it would be that wild for them. And there is a genuine fan interest. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble here, but a friend of mine created one of these like knockoff amiibo card shops, and her business took off so quickly and she made so much money, she literally had to hire other friends to help her just like get her orders out. That's how much interest there is in them. And it just seems so weird to me that Nintendo would be turning a blind eye. And I get, you know, cards are not as cool as having, you know, like a fully fledged amiibo, especially for your collection. But still, I feel like Nintendo could maybe make a special collector's edition card amiibo to kind of immortalize the times that we're living in, and also, you know, help people get the amiibos that they want to spend money on. Modders unite! There is a bat signal out for all Nintendo modder creators. We all know that Nintendo lawyers have always seemingly had it out for modders, and just in general, sometimes Nintendo creators. It is very easy to get your art copywritten by Nintendo lawyers. In fact, one YouTuber recently reported that he had 40 videos of his taken down just in 1 week by Nintendo, and a lot of modders are fed up. So much so that they have banded together to create change. In fact, a Discord channel about this is now 500 users strong. It's very interesting to see what's going to take place, and I definitely would agree that it seems like Nintendo lawyers are extra harsh on people who themselves love Nintendo. A lot of these people that they crack down on are not trying to make Nintendo like worse in any way or trying to like slander their characters in Nintendo or anything like that. They're just making fan improvements to different games and, you know, just enhancing the overall fan experience and creating new things out of devices that already exist. A statement from the Discord channel said the following: "We're done with Nintendo's policy and plan to change the strict corporate thinking for good with big force. We think that pirating of Nintendo games is wrong, but modification of legally owned Nintendo games should be allowed." It's really interesting to see how all this is gonna play out, because I know the laws in Japan are very different than the laws in the United States. Like, I don't know how like petitions work in Japan, who knows? But I'm very interested to see how this is all going to pan out. But Mario fans, I have some great news for you. There is a new Mario games leak, and while this leak is kind of more of a trinkle, it's still pretty exciting if you are a big fan of Mario-based sports games, because the leak is that there is a Mario sports game coming to us sometime soon. And not just one person has leaked this, 2 people has leaked this, so to me that seems like some solid ground. What we do know as well is that this game is being developed by Bandai Namco, which could be good news, especially if you're not a fan of Mario Golf or any other games that have been done by other developers. I will say one major sports game that I am still waiting on is Sports Story. I feel like it's been a while now, friends. Guys, I just got this GameSir T4 mini controller in the mail, and I'm really excited to check it out. It looks super cool from the box. I've yet to open this, so we're going to do this all together, but I love the lights already. Ooh, this looks really cool. I love this. You know what this reminds me of? I used to have a PlayStation 2 controller that looked a lot like this kind of design, except it was blue. Look at it. It's like you're looking at them in like a microscope. Tripped out by this or just me? I feel like this would be very good for somebody who is like me, and like I have this weird thing where even like when I'm driving, like sometimes I'll just like forget which one is the brake. But like it happens like with controllers too, where I just like all of a sudden my brain just like forgets like where the buttons are, and I have to like look down really quickly and be like, oh my God, where are they? This is, if you don't know your buttons, this is a really good controller for you because they are very clear. There's no squinting to see which button is which on this one. $35.99, and also multi-platform. So you can use this for the Switch, iOS, your computer. It's pretty cool that you can connect this to your phone. Like, that's wild. For me, the grip is really good on this. I have very long fingers, and sometimes I worry with mini controllers, just like my fingers like going like this, but it actually doesn't. Like, it fits pretty comfortably in the back, and this seems like this would be way easier to travel with than a regular Pro controller. You could just like throw this in your backpack and it wouldn't take up much space. You know what? I feel like this would be really, really great with some grips, because I think that's like the only thing that I'm kind of like holding off on is just I worry, like I'm one of those people that's like a little reckless, I guess, when I game, and I just kind of like occasionally, not all the time, but like sometimes will very aggressively. It also has a rainbow breathing option too, which is really cool. I love the lights on this. I feel like if you've got like a very moody kind of like darkened gaming setup, this thing would be awesome for that. Could Joy-Con drift finally be fully solved? What? And the craziest part is that it wasn't even solved by Nintendo, which I'm like, Nintendo, I feel like maybe we should have had a team working on this, but it was actually created by people creating like a Switch-esque, you know, kind of like knockoff, if you will, device. The name of this device is the Aya Neo Next, and this is seen as a lot of people as a major competitor for the Steam Deck. They're kind of in that same world of like having a portable PC. The major thing with this is that they use what is called the Hall effect for their Joy-Con. So this Hall effect trigger uses magnets to kind of prevent that rubbing up motion that causes Joy-Con drift. And while not a lot of these are actually out in the wild yet for consumers to actually use and create actual wear and tear on, I don't know. I have hope for this and I'm really excited. I really hope Nintendo is paying at least somewhat attention, because I think this is a really smart solution to prevent Joy-Con drift, and hopefully this means the end to all of our Joy-Con drift problems. Hall effect sensors aren't something that's necessarily new either. They have been used in Ataris and other devices, but the really big thing about this is the first time the Hall effect sensors are ever being used in a handheld device. And I feel like, I don't know, it could be revolutionary. We already know we are allegedly not getting a Switch Pro from Nintendo, but could we actually be getting a Switch Pro from Sony? Fan-made mock-up is really intriguing to me because it seems like something that actually could be really realistic for PlayStation. PlayStation is not a stranger to handheld gaming. In fact, their PSP and also their Vita were super popular. And a lot of people say that the Vita was kind of the original Switch, if you were. So it wouldn't be that crazy for Sony to create a handheld device that could put the Switch in a little bit of trouble. Something that is really unique about the system design too is that it doesn't dock to play on the TV. You can actually wireless kind of screen share, if you will, from your device to the TV to be able to play on your screen. I feel like Nintendo should be sweating a little bit looking at this one. Will this put some heat on Nintendo to either put out whatever their next console is or start actually giving us fundamental information about the Switch Pro? Who knows? When the Switch OLED came out, the #1 thing on everybody's lips was screen burn. People were very concerned because with an OLED screen, that is a possibility. Now, while a lot of us have had it for a while and screen burn cases do seem to be remarkably low, Bob Wulff decided to take this theory and test it. And I mean fully test it by sacrificing his Switch OLED in the name of science. He left his Switch OLED on, displaying the same screen from Breath of the Wild for not only hours on end, not only days on end, weeks on end. The full total of how long he left it on was for 1,800 hours. That is a long time. Okay, I don't care who you are. Nobody is actually going to be playing their game for 1,800 hours straight without ever turning off their device. I was really excited too that he decided to test with Breath of the Wild, because that was one of my biggest concerns, is that I know when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, I'm going to be playing obsessively. And Legend of Zelda games are known for having things that linger on the screen, like your health meter and other things like that, that could cause burn. Thankfully, he found, even leaving his device on for 1,800 hours, no evidence of screen burn, which makes me really excited. Some people are using this to say that screen burn is now impossible. And while the word impossible does make me like a little nervous, friends, please do not try this at home, okay? I know nothing bad happened to Bob Wulff, but please, it does make me excited that this hopefully will not happen in natural situations. As for what wear and tear he did experience through this experiment, he found that the white pixels were slightly dimmer, which again, after being left on for that long, not that bad. Way to go, Nintendo. Give yourselves a round of applause. Breath of the Wild 2 finally has a working multiplayer, and I'm so excited about this. Okay, so if you didn't know, a while back there was a not Nintendo sanctioned, but existed, monetary challenge for whoever could create a 2-player version of Breath of the Wild. And it seems like we're finally seeing some actual success. And while by the developer's own admission, this is still an early version with some bugs to work out, and overall is incredibly exciting. I cannot wait to play this. Nintendo lawyers, if you're watching this, please just cover your ears for this part, because I cannot have this taken away from me, okay? So in order to actually win the $10,000, there are specific requirements. You have to be able to play from anywhere on the map. Your mod has to be free to play, and it has to be able to host up to 2 players. And again, I feel like this mod is looking really good for that. The developer, I feel like I have to repeat, has said it's still in early stages, but I'm excited. Fingers crossed we're actually gonna get a 2-player mod really soon. Nintendo fans, beware. There is a fake eShop website going around that is stealing people's information and credit cards. If you do not know, Nintendo recently released a full, not just national announcement, but worldwide announcement saying that there are scammers that are replicating the eShop in a way that is tricking a lot of people into thinking that is the actual eShop. And when those people purchase games, their information, as well as just money in general, was stolen from them. So please make sure you're being very careful when you are accessing the eShop. Always, before you purchase or input any personal information, make sure you are checking the URL and making sure that it is a URL that you recognize. I'm going to be putting the correct eShop URL for different countries in my description as well, just for you to double check. Again, have a point of reference before you make any purchases, because I know it's very easy to be like, I'll never be tricked by something like that. But if enough people have been tricked for Nintendo to make an announcement about it, I feel like it's gotta be a really good dupe. So just be careful out there, friends. All right, friends, thank you so much for hanging out. I can't wait to talk about more Nintendo with you very soon.